Good evening, I'm Jack Fujii and welcome to the 13th session of Agriculture 194T. After this session we have only 3 more sessions to go, and for those of you who joined us for the first time, Focus on Agriculture is a 1-credit course offered by your College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management here at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. And we come to you live every Thursday evening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. via your Hawaii Interactive Television System and your local community access channel. And we come to you from the television studios located in the Mookini Library on the University of Hawaii Hilo campus. The objective of this class is to inform you about the various aspects of diversified agriculture in the state of Hawaii, and each semester we try to focus on a different subject area, but because cooking has been so popular over the past semester, we've decided to do another cooking class this semester. And what we're trying to do is bring in various cooks and chefs from local restaurants and have them prepare various dishes for you, emphasizing local agricultural commodities. And before I go on, I'd like to make a few announcements, and if I may have them, Elmo, please. Again, you can substitute 2 lectures that you have missed with 2 original proven local recipes, and these recipes have to be in my office by Friday, April 28th. So you don't have, I think you have just 2 more weeks to go. If you've missed any sessions, you can make up 2 sessions with a original proven local recipe, and you can send those recipes in to me. Remember, by April 28th they have to be in my office. Okay, and you can send those to me, the College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management, or CAFNARM, University of Hawaii at Hilo, 200 West Kawili Street, Hilo, Hawaii, 96720-4091. You can also fax the recipes to me at 974-7674, or you can email the recipes to me at jfujii@hawaii.edu. And I might mention that several of you have already submitted your recipes to me via email and by fax. So remember, if you miss a session, you can make up a session with a local recipe, up to 2 missed sessions. And remember, in order to get an A in the class, you have to submit 16 lecture sessions, or 16 lecture notes. Also, I'd like to again mention about the College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management here at UH Hilo. We offer a Bachelor of Science degree in Agriculture with specializations in agribusiness, agroecology, and environmental quality, animal science, and our animal science program has a pre-veterinary program where we have placed many of our graduates into veterinary schools on the mainland. We also have a production option in animal science. We also have an aquaculture specialization, a crop protection specialization, general agriculture, and tropical horticulture. And again, if you have to get a hold of me, there's my address. And also I'd like to mention that the University of Hawaii at Hilo has an excellent College of Arts and Sciences, and also a College of Hawaiian Studies. And if you'd like to find out more about those programs, you can call 1-800-897-HILO, or that's 1-800-897-4456, or you can email us at uhhadm@hawaii.edu, or you can visit our website, which has our entire catalog and tells you all about UH Hilo, and that's www.uhh.hawaii.edu. Since we are coming to you live at approximately 8 p.m., those of you in the viewing audience, and of course those of you here in the studio, can ask questions of our guest chefs. And we will have numbers on the screen later on. Those of you on the outer islands, you can call us at our collect number. And of course, those of you here on the Big Island can call us on the 2 direct numbers. We hope that you don't change the channel. We have another very interesting presentation for you this evening. This evening we are featuring the Happy Cat restaurant on Mamo Street here on the Big Island in Hilo. And we have with us this evening the owner of Happy Cat Restaurant, Karla Garcia. And there's Karla. And joining Karla, we have Karla Tom, and Karla Tom is the manager. So at this time, I'm going to turn the class over to Karla Garcia. I guess we have the 2 Karlas here. And let's do some cooking.
Good evening. We are from Happy Cat's Cafe, and tonight we are going to present pineapple papaya salsa with goat cheese quesadilla, garlic cucumbers made by Karla. Then we are going to make a ranch dressing that goes on organic greens, followed with a special pot roast. We call it Mama Special. And to end up the evening, we're going to do an apple coconut cake. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah,
let's
we're
go
ready.
with the salsa.
Okay.
So how long have you been open, Karla, over there at the Happy Cat Cafe?
I've been open in August for 3 years. And it's been a lot of fun. We do a lot of home cooking there. Everything's fresh. We've got the farmer's market right next to us. And we try and utilize as much of that produce as possible.
And of course, the restaurant used to be the former Broke the Mouth, right?
That's right. Mr. Tip Davis owned Broke the Mouth, and I picked that up in August '97.
Okay.
Can I have a spoon, Karla?
Sure.
Okay. Our ingredients for the papaya salsa. We have pineapple, papaya, avocado, cilantro,
And, oh, that cover was loose. That cover was loose.
garlic,
Habanero pepper.
habaneros, picked
Nice and spicy.
and pickled fresh by the farmer's market.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start with the pineapple.
About how much?
It's a medium pineapple, about 3 pounds, and it comes out to 4 cups.
Okay, about 4 cups.
And then about 3 cups of papaya, and I leave the seeds in the papaya. It adds a little crunch, a little texture, and a good pepper flavor.
Okay. And
Okay.
About how much papayas was that, roughly?
That was about 3 cups. That was about 3
cups.
cups of papaya.
Okay.
Next we have 1 cup of onion, and all of the vegetables are diced very fine. This is going to be going on a goat cheese quesadilla. Oh, Karla, would you like
Sure.
to start the pan for our quesadilla? Okay, put the papaya, the onion, the pineapple in. Next comes the avocado. And you keep mashing it up. You want to get all the juices out of the vegetables and the fruits. Cilantro.
About how much cilantro?
It's about a cup of cilantro.
Okay. And the avocado, is that roughly a cup also?
Yes. The avocado is also diced real nice. The avocado will mush into the salsa, and you want that. Okay, about 4 cloves of garlic, minced very fine.
Okay.
I'll get all the goodies out.
Okay.
The habaneros.
And the habanero, that's a real hot chili
The
pepper, isn't it?
habaneros are very, very hot. You can add some more if you like it real spicy. You can take some away if you want it just lightly spiced. The
And so-
habanero is a hot pepper. I only put in 1 to 2 at the most.
Okay.
And then we've got a 1/4 cup of vinegar or lemon juice. Oh, can I have the measuring spoons?
Sure.
And then we're going to need the tortillas.
Got it right over here on the side.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
spread that.
use the Hawaiian salt that has the red dirt. And this is a special Hawaiian salt. It's been blessed and it's got the red dirt. And I have a real special person that makes it for us. 1 tablespoon of that and a tablespoon of black pepper. I like my salsa a little hot. Okay. Stir them all up.
And this is, how did you come across
Flash it
this
around.
recipe, Karla?
Oh, I tend to create a lot. I want to utilize the items that we have in the market. I came up with this recipe when we had a lot of white pineapple. And it works very good. The cilantro, the papaya, it all blends really, really well. Okay, next we go with our goat cheese and our tortilla. I've taken the goat cheese and I partially froze it so you could grate it, so you could get a nice consistency to be able to spread. You take about a half a cup, spread it on the tortilla. Got the pan hot there, girl?
Yes, the pan is hot.
Try not to cover your kitchen in goat cheese when you're doing this. It can be a little aromatic. And it doesn't really matter if you don't spread it to the edges, because when you do cook it, the cheese tends to melt. So when you're spreading it on the tortilla, you can glump it around the middle.
And it's best to use the flour tortilla?
Always use the flour tortilla with quesadillas. If you were to use the corn tortilla, they'd get too tough when you're crisping it in the pan.
Okay, and I'm going to crisp it in the pan.
Okay.
So this is kind of like a Mexican dish with a tropical flavor, a Hawaiian flavor.
Well, it's also got a little Italian in there. One of the first times I had a fruit salsa was on a bruschetta, which is the bread with the goat cheese and then the fruit salsa on it. And it varies. Goat cheese is worldwide popular. You got that on Hilo?
And of course, that's our local goat cheese, right?
And I got
That's
a
our
medium high.
Island-made goat cheese. The woman who has the goat seems to really have a nice setup. I think she was in the paper a few weeks ago and made some deal or something with her husband. If she won the bet, then she could get the goats, and now she's got the goats, and she's producing a lot of cheese.
Okay.
Okay,
Starting to
then
get
we'll
brown.
present it.
And how long do you leave it on the skillet there?
We want to do it until it's lightly browned.
Lightly brown.
We want a nice hot skillet.
Okay.
Big skillet.
And then when it's done,
And so, Karla, are you open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I'm open for breakfast and for lunch. We do lunch all day, and we also do breakfast all day. We do homemade breads for our breakfast, scrambles, tofu, French toast. I've got a lot of pastries too that we do. We're open from 7 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, Monday through Saturday. That's good, huh?
So if you're visiting the farmer's market on Saturday or Wednesday, you can stop by the Happy Cat.
And we would be more than happy to see you. Okay, and then you cut it into 6 pieces and arrange on your platter.
And this is one of the dishes that you have at Happy Cat.
What we try and do at Happy Cats is feature specials, daily different specials. I change them all the time. Okay, and there's our pineapple salsa with the goat cheese quesadilla.
Okay. Well, it looks kind of tasty. I can't wait to try it out. And what's next?
Okay, now next, here, no, leave them there.
You need that there.
You're gonna need them. Okay, next I'm turning the camera over to Karla, and she is going to make the garlic
cucumber salad. Okay. So
Garlic
I
cucumber.
need a knife.
And how long you been in the cooking business, Karla?
Going on 3 years now.
Okay. And what about you, Karla? Karla G?
I've been cooking for quite a few years. I'd say probably around 25.
So
Wow.
let's see.
In and out of the business.
First,
What do you specialize in?
I specialize in country cooking. Homemade, fresh breads, pastries. I can pretty much do it all.
Okay, Karla
okay,
G,
first I'm going to cut the edges off the cucumber. And to get thinly sliced, I'm going to use a mandolin. Let's get that down there. And the recipe calls for 2.5 pounds of cucumbers. sliced.
So did you have some cooking training there, Karla T, or on-the-job training?
On-the-job training.
Plus a lot of cooking at home.
Yeah, and reading a lot of cookbooks.
Uh-huh. Well, we're glad that you shared the recipes with us so we can incorporate it into our Focus on Agriculture cookbook, which will be ready in June.
Oh, great. Okay, so we got the cucumber sliced, and we'll throw that in a bowl. And we'll add a teaspoon of salt on that. And your spoon,
Okay.
please.
Oh, there you go. Avocado on it. Can't get the avocado
no,
in the
you
cucumber.
can't, no. And we're gonna just toss that. The salt takes the water out of the cucumbers. It's a very important step. You don't want your vinegar mixture to be watery. And we'll set that aside for about 20 minutes. And in another bowl.
Magic. Presto. There we go.
There we go. Hey, we've got some cucumbers that's already been salted.
And then you
We'll
just
do a
strain the water out, Karla?
Yes, we'll squeeze the water out of the cucumbers.
You need the bowl?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. And in another bowl, we'll add a third of a cup of minced garlic, finely minced. Can I get a spatula, please?
Okay.
A spatula.
Spatula.
A spatula.
Thank you. And we'll add that in there. And we'll add a half a cup of sugar
Okay.
to the garlic, and we'll mash that together.
Is this one of your own creations, Karla?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And how often do you come up with your recipes?
Not too often, but it does hit me once in a while, a good recipe. And then we'll add a cup of rice vinegar.
Okay.
We'll stir that in there. Okay, you want to make sure it's not too sweet, not too sour, but just right. Now, when you squeeze the cucumbers, the water out of the cucumbers, you don't want to squeeze it too hard because you'll squish these cucumbers. And you just add that to the bowl.
So 20 minutes is good enough to let the salt kind of take the water out of the cucumber?
Yes, 20 minutes is long enough.
Okay.
There's a lot of water in the cucumbers.
And would you call this kind of a local dish, or would you call it...
I guess, yeah, you could call it a local dish. More like a Japanese dish. It's more like a namasu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes. And we'll stir that in there. And we'll add a half of shredded carrot.
Okay.
Because a whole carrot would be too much. All right, we'll
Yeah, it
just
looks
stir that
almost
around.
like a namasu, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It's very spicy because of the raw garlic.
Uh-huh.
It's a very good one. Good salad, though. It's good in turkey sandwiches.
That's our most popular
Popular.
sandwich salad currently.
Okay.
It changes.
I mean, you can actually just put that between two slices of bread and...
And it comes along with our sandwiches. Every sandwich that we serve comes with a little side salad. Sometimes it's the
Oh, I see.
cucumber,
Yeah.
sometimes it's potato salad. We change it quite a lot.
And there you have garlic cucumber salad.
Okay. Wow, you folks are going fast.
Oh, well, when you're in the restaurant business, you tend to put on the speed because you have people that are coming in and starving. They have to go to another class. They have to get to work. They have to get off lunch. It's all kinds of, the blood sugar's dropping, and sometimes they tend to be very grouchy. So you have to have kind of a silly attitude sometimes to get everybody in the right frame of mood to enjoy some good home-style cooking.
How'd you
Yes.
get started into cooking, Karla?
I started in cooking in Maui at the Treehouse restaurant as a pantry chef, and it just progressed from that point on. one job after another. Then I started having children and kept working and advanced studying into different pastries, different baking techniques when I did have more children, and then just went back to work, and now I'm cooking in my own restaurant.
Okay.
Okay, let's go
What's
on to our next one. We're going to do our ranch dressing that we specialize. It's one of our most popular dressings that we have.
Okay.
And we're going to start out with a blender here. And then we're going to go with some onion. Not what I'm holding, but we're getting to it.
It's coming. Here it is.
In our ranch dressing, we have onion, celery. We have approximately 1 cup of onion and 1 cup of celery and 4 cloves of garlic that you don't have to worry about mincing or chopping too much because you're going to be putting it in the blender. So you just go ahead and you dump your veggies into your blender. Add your salt and pepper.
Measuring spoon? There you go.
Okay. Our Hawaiian rock salt again. It doesn't affect the white dressing too much. If you put too much in, it will tend to make it a little pink. Okay, and then about 1/2 tablespoon of pepper, not too much.
And where did you get that Hawaiian salt from with the red
There's a
tinge?
gentleman out in Pahoa that makes it specially. He's getting the salt in special, and he gets the dirt in, and they go through. His partner is a Lomi Lomi massage therapist, and they have been selling this, I think, for a couple of years.
Can the local people in the community purchase it?
I do believe so. I think he's just starting the business. I don't have his number or his card, though.
Okay.
So I don't want to promote it too much without knowing for sure. Okay, that was a cup of oil
Okay.
and a cup of rice vinegar. And it's going to the blending land right now.
Okay, here we go.
For those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194T, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we are featuring the Happy Cat Cafe here in Hilo. And we have with us this evening Karla
Voila.
Garcia and Karla Tom. And we're preparing a ranch dressing.
Okay, we've got the blended veggies, oil and vinegar. Pour it into your dressing container. Then you take your mayonnaise. Scoop them all out.
Do you do takeout lunches and things like that?
We do take out lunch and breakfast. We're geared up to also deliver.
Oh, and how much time do we have to give you if we...
Usually about 1/2 hour
Okay.
at the least, and it's always nice to get the orders in a little early so we know what we're preparing for.
Okay, now how much mayonnaise was that?
That was 2 cups of mayonnaise and 2 cups of buttermilk.
Okay, 2 cups of mayonnaise and 2 cups
Okay,
of
And I'll take
buttermilk.
that to the blender world.
And Karla, what about catering? Do you do any catering?
Yes, we do catering. I can cater to any ethnic group that you want. I do Mexican. I do Italian, home cooking. I can do pastries. I can do just about anything that you'd like if you have a theme in mind that you'd like to do.
And
Okay.
how much time do we have to give you if we're going to have a party and you're going to do a
I
party?
like to have a week to work on the menu so I can give you some ideas. You can give me some ideas. We can work out all the kinks. I can
Okay.
also work on a short-term basis, 24 hours if there's a panic attack. Okay, I've taken the buttermilk and the mayonnaise and I've added it to the veggies. All you have to do is just stir them all up and you've got a homemade ranch dressing.
Is that kind of like the ranch dressing, similar flavor of the ranch dressing that you buy in the supermarket?
It's a similar flavor, but I think you'll find that you like this a lot more because it's fresh and there's no preservatives, there's not too much salt. You can control your seasonings more.
And how long can you hold that in the reefer?
That keeps usually about 2 weeks. If you have a very cold refrigerator, it could keep up to a month.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, kiddo. Okay, and then we also have some lettuce to go along with it.
Geez, I didn't know it was that simple to make a ranch dressing. I thought,
Sometimes home-style cooking can be deceivingly easy. If you know your ingredients and you know your time limits, you can usually make a from-scratch meal in as little of a time as it takes to make a TV dinner, if you have the skills, which comes with a little practice. Okay, so then we have our ranch dressing and our organic greens that are also at the farmer's market.
okay. And that's
There's the
one of
ranch.
your most popular dressings over there at the Happy Cat Cafe. Is it Happy Cat Cafe or restaurant?
Happy Cat's Cafe.
Cafe, okay.
Cafe.
I've got restaurant, so I stand corrected.
Okay, now what we're going to do is our special pot roast.
Do you plan to open up other restaurants, Karla?
Well, time can only tell. I might pursue that opportunity. It's a little difficult to do a restaurant by yourself. Sometimes I wish that I could clone myself. I also have children that I'm raising, and I don't have a lot of family time. I know that my daughters wish that they had a little bit more of me around the house, or that when I am around the house, I'm not so tired that I can't talk to anybody.
I guess the restaurant business is kind of rough. What time do you have to wake up in the morning to get the restaurant started?
Well, depending on the day, I schedule in a baking day, and on my baking day, sometimes I'll be at the restaurant at 3:30 in the morning. Our breads that we make, a French bread that's a coconut, and we also make a honey granola bread, and in the honey granola bread, I make my own granola. So it does take a lot of time and effort to put together what seems like a real easy breakfast, homemade toast, homemade potatoes. But actually it takes a lot of time. Usually though, I'm in the restaurant at about 5 in the morning.
So when can we buy the bread, or do you sell the bread to the general public?
I also sell the bread. I make it once a week, usually on Thursdays.
So the best time to buy
It's
the bread
best
is
fresh.
on Thursday?
I freeze it right away when I make it.
Uh-huh.
So it's, if you want the fresh bread, Thursday's a good day to pick it up.
And early, about what time?
Oh, usually around 10 or 11.
10 or 11, then it's right out of the oven.
Right, fresh out of the oven. Nice
Oh.
and hot. I've had some customers that just want the bread right then and there. How
Well,
much does it go for? Let's take it.
I bet when people smell that bread roasting or baking in the oven, it kind of attracts people over, doesn't it?
Yes, we do have.
It's kind of like roasting coffee. When you smell that fresh bread baking in the oven, that you can't beat that smell.
And the way my oven works is my fan projects the great smells right out into the atmosphere, and people walking around town will smell that. So when we're doing garlic crispies, which is one of our favorites, we have many people come wandering in. In fact, our breakfast is usually quite large when we're doing that.
So how many different types of bread do you bake over there at Happy Cat?
We just bake the 2 breakfast breads. One goes with our French toast and the other with our egg breakfast. We also do banana muffins, cakes, pies. Depending on my mood and what the specials are for the day, I'll change the different pastries, whatever is ripe and available in the farmer's market, lilikoi, star fruit. We have a fruit salad that we always make fresh out of the market. So if we have a lot of japoticaba, strawberries, how many other? Let's see. Oh, the lychee, when that's in the rambutan.
And did you say you did pastries also?
We also do pastries, yes.
Wow.
We do.
And what is that on a Thursday also?
We do our special pastries mainly on market days, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Uh-huh.
That seems to be when the most amount of people are in the farmer's market, and they tend to eat our pastries right up.
Well, I'm going to have to try that bread out. And some of that pastry.
I'll look forward to having you in there.
Okay.
Let's go on to our next dish, and it is a special Mama's pot roast. What makes it most special is that it's made with buttermilk. And buttermilk is something you would really never think about putting on meat, but it works wonderfully with meat because it works as a tenderizer. Okay, what I do with this is, can I have that, a fork? Oh, that's down the bottom. Let's just use the knife. Okay, what we do is we put some of the veggies underneath. Come over here and hold that for me, would you? So shoot it right off the side. Okay, we put some onions underneath. About half of the onions, and what we're using here today is 1 medium onion. It's about, I would say about 2 cups.
Okay.
Some more of the veggies under there. It just gives a nice base for the meat to roast on. Spread some carrots around, just about half of them. Get them up under the meat. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to put your lighter liquids on first. You want to use your buttermilk as kind of a cover. So we've got a cup of sherry wine, and I always use sherry wine in this recipe because sherry's very sweet and it's got a very full-bodied flavor. And then about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of soy sauce, depending on how salty you like it. And then 4 garlic cloves. Mashed up. It doesn't have to be too fine because the baking, it takes about 4 hours to bake, so the baking will soften up all of the vegetables. Okay, and then you want to pour your buttermilk over your roast.
About how much buttermilk?
About 2 cups of buttermilk.
And what's the weight of that? What type of roast is that, and how much does it weigh? Or?
What we're using tonight is a chuck roast. You can use a 7-bone chuck roast. You can use mock chuck. You can even use tips. You can use a piece of meat that's not too tender because the roasting, the wine, the buttermilk all tenderizes it through the cooking.
And how did you come across this recipe?
This was my mother's recipe, and she was a wonderful, wonderful cook. And I'm not sure where she came up with the buttermilk. She always used to scour cooking magazines and books, so it was one of her main hobbies to cook, and she was a wonderful, wonderful cook.
And that's why it's called Mama's Special Pot Roast.
Mama's Special.
Okay.
I like my pot roast real peppery, so I usually use about 1¾ of a tablespoon of pepper.
Okay.
It doesn't get too hot in the baking, and just a sprinkle of the Hawaiian salt because we already did put in so much soy sauce, but a little bit of the salt on top brings out the juice. Okay, and then spread your veggies on top. And there is one thing that I always make sure that we do at the restaurant when we're baking any item or when we're covering items. Anything with any acid in it at all will eat your aluminum foil. And aluminum foil is made with a lot of aluminum, and you don't really want that in your system. So what we use at the restaurant is parchment paper, and it's not really very difficult to buy. You can usually find it in your supermarkets. And then you just want to cover the parchment paper over. Can I have a couple of the small? Yeah. Put the parchment paper over your pot roast, and then the foil. And cover it very tightly. You want to crimp the edges so all of your steam stays inside of your roast.
Oh, that's a good idea to put the parchment paper on.
Well, the vegetables have acid in them, the wine, all the vaporization when the steam's coming up and cooking around the pot roast, it will melt your aluminum onto it, and it's not healthy at all. The only other way that you could get around that if you don't have any parchment paper, if you have a very tight seating lid on a Dutch oven or a casserole dish, you want a nice tight seal though, because the steam, if it does come out too much, then you're going to have to add liquid into the pot roast because it will be cooking for 4 hours at least, depending on your meat and how tender the cut is.
Karla, have you ever tried tea leaves on top of that?
No,
the
I
parchment?
haven't ever tried tea leaves. That would probably add a really very good taste to the meat also. Sometimes we've put pineapple in with it. Sometimes we put papaya in it. kind of keep it to that variation. But you know, I'll think about using that the next time we cook. Karla, you want to take that and bring me our
And
cooked
then
product?
how long do you leave it in the oven now? 4 hours?
3 to 4 hours. You'd want to check it after about 2 hours to make sure that there's not any area on the meat that is getting too dried out. If the meat is getting too dried out, then you'd want to baste it. If you need to add water at that time, then you should add water. Or if, I'm never afraid to add more wine. The more wine that you cook with, the more full-bodied your dish is. And it always cooks the alcohol out. You never have to worry about the alcohol being present in your dish.
And about what temperature do you bake it?
Usually bake it around 350. Usually you could cook it a little lower if you wanted to, say, put it in the oven before you went to a meeting or something. You could cook it at 300 for like 5 hours.
Do you think the people at home can put it in a crock pot and cook it in a crock pot, or do you think it's better in the oven?
A crock pot would work, but I think it would, you'd lose a lot of your form of your roast.
I see.
Wouldn't brown. In your oven, you still do get some browning effect where you wouldn't get that in your crock pot. You would basically get the same flavors though, because it would all cook in together and you'd have your same meldings of your buttermilk and your sherry wine and your pepper.
And so this is one of your specialties at Happy Cat?
This is one of our more popular specialties. We have people, if we don't make it at least once every week, ask why we haven't been doing our pot roast.
So what is your phone number over there?
Our phone number is 935-0595.
And so, in other words, I can call you and say, Karla, are you going to have pot roast today, or Mama's pot roast? And you can let me know.
You sure can. You can always call and find out what our daily specials are. We try and change them at least every day. We have special soups. We make a fish chowder. When the fish are running, we'll use a lot of fish in our menu. I'm beginning to meet more and more people, so I get more and more variety on our foods. And I try and keep everything local from the island as possible. It's not always possible.
How many people does Happy Cat seat?
We seat probably around 40 at full capacity. Usually we have 2 sections. We have a garden section, we have our front section, and around 20 per section. We have slipped in as much as, let's see, with that one party there was 50 plus 20, so we had about 70 people, but that was a little packed and there wasn't much room.
Okay.
And people were getting run over.
Okay, well
Okay.
that really looks good.
So we've got those guys. Now the best thing to any meal, I do believe, is dessert. And dessert is one of my favorite things to make.
And what kind of pastries do you do over there at Happy Cat?
Well, let's see. We make a lot of pies. Fresh coconut pie is a very good one. We make a lot of apple dishes. I'll do baked apples for breakfast. When I first started doing baked apples, it was kind of a new taste. I started stuffing the baked apples sometimes with pineapple. When the lilikoi are in, I'll drizzle lilikoi juice over it. I've made lilikoi pies. We make sweet rolls. I make a special sweet coconut with nuts and raisins. And I also make a granola sweet roll with a caramel.
And is this every day or every Thursday or?
No, pretty much stick to the fancy pastries on market day. That's when the most people are in town and they eat up the pastries. Pastry is best eaten fresh.
So Saturday morning and Wednesday mornings at about 10 o'clock.
Wednesday and Saturday, the pastries are ready and hot for you at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
The breakfast might not be up and running until 7 o'clock, but the pastries are ready and hot at 6.
So you can get your pastry and sugar
And your
up
coffee.
early.
We've
And
got
coffee,
good coffee.
and then go to the market and you'll be ready to do your shopping at the farmer's market.
And you can also park in our parking lot. That's one of our special features. You want to come and have a cup of coffee, some pastry, or a good breakfast, You can park in our parking lot, eat your breakfast, and go shopping for a little while.
Oh, that's good to know.
Don't have to fight that parking mess.
So have some pastry or bread and coffee, and then go to the farmer's market. And if you really feel hungry after walking a long time, then you can have a real breakfast too.
And if you can waddle out to your car after that and go home and take a nap, you're a lucky person.
Okay. I'm going to have
Okay.
to try that out.
What we're going to make here is a fresh apple coconut cake. And we start out with our sugar and our butter.
Okay.
You can use margarine. You can use oil. You want to take the butter. You want it just a little softer than we've got tonight, but it still works. If you have a microwave available and you've got cold butter, you can always zap it. The butter can be liquid. It doesn't really matter. In fact, it's probably easier in this recipe if it is liquid.
And about how much butter are you using there?
That was 1 cup of butter.
Okay. And this will make about what size?
It makes a 9 by 11 cake.
Okay, 9 by 11.
You can also use this batter as muffins.
Mm-hmm.
It should make a full batch of muffins.
So you just put it in those little cupcake-like baking pan, is that what you call it?
The little cupcake pans, that's
Okay.
it. Okay, we've got our butter in there. Then we want to put our sugars. Now I just added 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
You want to blend them all up.
And what is your favorite in terms of cooking? Do you rather bake or?
I think I'd rather bake. If I had my druthers of what I could do all day long, I would be in the oven part of the kitchen and baking away.
And I'd be in the part of the kitchen cooking away.
Well, you make a good pair, the two Karlas here.
Yes, we do.
It does work out very, very well. Okay, to the butter and sugar, 3 eggs.
Okay.
This is a very stiff batter.
So it's just the two of you working behind the counter there, Karla?
Oh, no, no,
Oh,
no.
no, no.
You tell the war stories there, girl.
There's about 5 of us
Uh-huh.
working at Happy Cats currently. And we have a lot of fun when we work there. It gets busy and we're scrambling here and scrambling there. And
Except when the boss is around, makes people nervous.
yes, makes people nervous.
I don't know why.
Well, because you're the boss.
Okay, this is going to be a very stiff batter, and it's best not to use a mixer with it because you probably jam it.
Okay.
Okay, now, in this, I have the soda, the salt, and the spices. Now, this is a neat little trick that you can always do. You've got your wet mixtures, and then you've got your dry mixtures. And you can add the soda and the salt and everything into it. Can I have a little?
Got that.
About
Okay.
how much of each would you say?
Okay, a teaspoon of soda.
Okay. That's
A
baking
teaspoon-
soda?
That's baking soda.
Okay.
A teaspoon of salt.
Mm-hmm.
1 teaspoon cinnamon.
Okay.
A 1/4 teaspoon cloves. And a 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg.
Mm.
Then if you mix that all up into your flour, you don't have to worry about sifting. Lots of times at the restaurant I'll take a whip, just whip it up so it aerates too. In cakes you like to have a light flour mixture, you don't want it real heavy. When you're measuring flour, you dip your cup into the flour and tap it lightly and then scrape off the top. You don't want to ever pack your flour into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got that all blended up. We add that into our eggs and sugar.
Do you do cinnamon rolls, Karla?
We do cinnamon rolls.
Mm.
We do a couple of different types. This is the coconut. This is 1 cup of coconut sweetened. You can use raw coconut.
When you say sweetened coconut, what do you mean by that?
It's a baker's coconut. It's
Oh,
already
okay.
pre-processed, and they add sugar into it to just keep it together.
Okay, or else you can use fresh grated coconut.
You can also use fresh grated coconut.
Okay.
Okay, and then 4 cups of apples.
Any particular type of apple?
No. Any kind that you've got, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
A little too soft to be getting in. This is when the batter starts sticking, and you've got want to beat those apples up in there. Get the moisture out, because it is a very stiff batter.
So you actually just cut the apples into slices, kind of 1/4-inch slices, would you say?
About 1/4 inch. You don't have to peel the apples. You do want to core the apples.
And how'd you come across this recipe?
This came out of one of my mother's cookbooks, Lopez Island cookbook. Lopez Island is in the San Juan Islands, Washington. And it was a friend of hers that she met, and they gave her this cookbook that was 3rd generation. As you can see, the batter's starting to moisten up some. It's the apples. If your butter was liquid, it would also help you having a little moisture batter. Don't have to worry about the batter being this stiff though, because it does all bake out. At the restaurant, lots of times I'll make this batter the night before, and then it'll be all ready to go at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning whenever I roll in. And the flavors tend to blend better.
So
Okay.
your mom must have been a good cook also.
My mother was a very good cook. My grandmother on my mother's side also owned a restaurant, so I kind of came by the blood naturally. Okay, how about the Pam spray?
Pam spray.
Right there.
Here you go.
Okay, lots of times on cakes, it calls for flouring the pan, but this cake is rich enough that you only have to spray, and I always use spray in the restaurant to keep things from sticking. We'll spray it on different bread products, all kinds of different products. Okay, you want to pop that in there?
I'll pop that in there.
Well, Karla T, you don't seem very nervous working in front of Karla
No, she's up here with
G
me.
today.
So I have no problem. If I was by myself, I'd be a little more nervous.
Well, of course, you're not the one that gets so nervous.
You're the one.
Karla G that's nervous? No, you don't look nervous at all.
Okay.
So you just spread that in, put it in all the way around. You're going to have to push it around because it is stiff. But then again, you don't have to worry about the stiff batter because it all melts out. Okay, and then what we have here is our streusel topping. And we have 1 cup of flour, a 1/2 cup of butter, and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I have, oh, here we go.
There's yours.
And you just mix it all up. When you're making the streusel topping, the flour and the butter you mix together, and you can get it together in your hands and roll it until you get a sandy consistency. And you just keep working it in. You want your butter very cold. And you just work it into your flour. And then after that, you add your brown sugar. And on top of your cake, you just want to sprinkle them on.
That kind of gives it a little crust on
Gives
top.
a nice little crust. Add some texture to it.
Boy, that looks like it'll go real good with Kona coffee.
Oh, it's delicious with coffee.
And our coffee is 50% Kona. Carry a good coffee. And you can just use your judgment. It's not always a cup of streusel. You might like it real thick. You might like it, just a little droppings on top. And then you want to put that in an oven, 350, for 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes, depending on how juicy your apples are in the batter. You want to take a toothpick and stick it into the center. When it comes out clean, then it's done.
Can you make any variations of that, Karla, and add something else other than apples if you wanted to?
And you have to leave the apples in. You could add pineapple to it. You could make it, I don't know, maybe you could throw a little papaya in there, make more of a fruitage. You can also add raisins in. You can add nuts. But I think that's about as far as you could take the variations. If you took the apples out of the recipe, it would change it too much. It's a very moist cake. If you didn't have the apples in, you would have to add other liquids. This is the cake that doesn't have any milk. It has no other liquids added into it. It's mainly the liquids come from the apple. So if you were to substitute, you'd probably have to come up with a whole new recipe.
And that's the, and what temperature do you bake that?
You bake it at 350.
Okay.
And you can preheat your oven. It's got a nice hot oven. It will make a poofier cake.
Man.
And then we have our baked cake.
That looks good. Now, that's the beauty of television, isn't it, Karla?
Magic.
That is the beauty of television. Then we have a full meal.
And that is the menu for this evening.
That is our menu for this evening.
Okay, we are a little bit early, but we got a lot of time for your phone calls. We're coming to you live this evening from the Mookini Library here on the University of Hawaii at Hilo campus. And this evening we have the Happy Cat restaurant located on Mamo Street downtown. And we have with us Karla Garcia, who owns the Happy Cat Cafe. And the manager of the Happy Cat Cafe is Karla Tom. And this evening they prepared for us several dishes, a papaya pineapple salsa and a goat cheese quesadilla, a garlic cucumber salad, or that's more like a namasu, and a simple way to make a ranch dressing, and Mama's special pot roast, and fresh apple coconut cake. And we have our first caller, so could you let us know where you're calling from? Maybe you're too close to the TV set.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay.
Can you use canned apples instead of fresh?
Karla, can you use canned apples?
I wouldn't use the canned apples because you would have the juice already extracted from it. In the canned apples, it's kind of just a mushy product. And in the fresh apple, you've got a lot of fresh juice in it that would make the cake moist. You can always experiment, though. I would probably use 3 cups of apples, though, not 4. It might just might make it too mushy.
Okay, does that answer the question from Hilo, or do you have another question for Karla?
And you can use any kind of fresh apples.
Yes, you can use any kind of fresh apple.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Hilo. We have another caller. Could you let us know where
Hi, my name is Diane.
Okay, Diane, and where are you
I
calling
live on
from?
the Kona side.
Okay.
I also like to cook.
Oh,
And
maybe...
I think Karla's show was very well put together, and all her recipes look very delicious.
Would you like to come on our Focus in Agriculture cooking class? I guess the caller hung up.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, you have a real fan there from Kona, Karla. And do we have another caller? We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Dr. Fujii, this is Pat.
Okay, Pat from Honolulu. Okay.
How much flour did she put in her cake?
Okay, Karla, how much flour was in the cake?
I put 2 cups in that, Pat.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you for calling, Pat, from Honolulu. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, I'm calling from Honaka'a,
Okay.
and I wanted to know on the Mama's pot roast, can you add potatoes?
Okay. Karla, do you add potatoes to the pot roast?
Yes, you can add potatoes. You can add roasting onions. You could add parsnips, Fennel works very good too. Fennel adds a wonderful flavor into it, and I know that we've got wild fennel growing on the island on the Fujii area, the Kohala, when you go up, no, over the mountains. There's
Okay, thank you very
fennel up
much,
there.
Karla.
It's wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Honoka'a. And I think we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, I'm calling from Kauai.
Okay.
I don't have a question.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment that it sounds like a great restaurant, and we'll have to do an inter-island getaway and check it out.
Okay, well,
Please
come
do.
over to Hilo and try out the Happy Cat
Will
restaurant.
do. Thanks very much.
Tell Karla you saw it on Focus on Agriculture. And we have no callers, so I'd like to remind you that you're watching Agriculture 194T, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring the Happy Cat restaurant with Karla Garcia, who's the owner. And we have also Karla Tom, who's the manager over there at Happy Cat restaurant. And we have a caller, so will the next caller let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Calling from Pahoa.
Okay.
I'd like to know the measurements of the spices, the
For,
cloves, the nutmeg, and cinnamon.
okay, that was for the
The cake.
Right. Okay, let's see if I have that here. Here, I have it here on the Elmo. Maybe I can get it on the Elmo for our caller from Pahoa. Let me bring that down again. Can you read that?
Yeah.
It calls for 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of white sugar, a cup of brown sugar, cup of margarine, 1 cup of coconut, 3 eggs, 4 cups sliced apples, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of clove, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then also you have the Streusel Topping, and I'm going to move it up here to the Streusel Topping. I'm glad Karla brought this over so I can show it to you. For the Streusel Topping that you put on top, you mix 1 cup of flour, a 1/2 cup of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, and you blend the butter into the flour until it's kind of sandy in texture. Then you add the sugar and mix, and then sprinkle over the top, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you have another question from
No.
Pahoa?
No, thank you.
Okay, well,
Yes.
thank you for calling from
All right,
Pahoa.
bye.
Bye-bye. And do we have another caller? Okay, we do have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, where are you
This
calling
is
from?
Tim from Kiao,
Okay.
and I just wanted to mention I've had the French toast, the coconut French toast,
Uh-huh.
and it's excellent.
Is it?
It's unbelievable. She didn't talk much about it, but it is really good.
Boy, I'm going to have to go over there. My mouth is
You really
watering
will.
already.
I mean, it's really good. It's different.
Okay.
Okay, thank you much.
Well, thank you for calling from Kiao. Karla, you have a fan there from the Kona side, from Pahoa side, and you're getting friends from all over.
Oh, that makes me feel really good.
Okay, well, we have no callers at the moment. We're coming to you live, and the numbers are on the screen. The numbers are 974-7726, 974-7727. And the Outer Island people, you can call us collect at 961-9041. And we have a caller, so will the caller let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello?
Yes, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hilo,
Okay.
and I would like to know how much apples did you put in that cake?
Okay, the apples. So how much apples was that, Karla?
And that was 4 cups of apples, Jack.
4 cups of sliced apple, about a 1/4 inch thick. And you can use any kind of apples, except don't use canned apples, fresh apples.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay.
May I have the recipe to Mama's pot roast, please?
Mama's pot roast. Okay, for the caller in Hilo. I'm glad Karla brought this over. And I'm going to put it on the screen for our caller in Hilo. There's Mama's special pot roast. Might also mention that all of these recipes will be in our cookbook, which will be available in June. And if you want information about that, you can get a hold of me at the College of Agriculture, and I'll put our address on the Elmo shortly. Do you have another question for Karla from Hilo? Okay, the caller's off the line. We have a question here in the classroom. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, I was curious about the pineapple salsa. Would you recommend using exclusively white pineapple, or other types, will they work well? And how long does the salsa last, stay fresh after you make it?
You can use any pineapple. The white pineapple adds an extra sweetness into it. You might not want that sweet of a salsa. Uh-oh.
Did you go blank?
I went blank in the second part of that.
How long does it last?
Oh, that's right. If you don't use your hands, when you make a fresh salad, whether it's a bean salad, cucumber, or a salsa, if you don't use your hands, you'll prolong the life of your product. If you use just clean bowls and clean utensils and keep it in a very cold refrigerator, it can keep up to 3 weeks. You know, it's mainly any bacteria that would contaminate it, so the more sterile your conditions, the longer the life.
And we have another question from our classroom here. So just press the button, let it go, and let the button go now. Is the green light on? Okay, go ahead with the question.
I was wondering, for the cucumber salad, do you have to use rice vinegar?
Yes, you use rice vinegar for the cucumber salad.
Okay. Any other questions from the classroom? You know, we have a lot of time this evening, and we have another caller, so will the next caller let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Yes, hello.
Yes, where are you calling from?
My name is Bud. I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay, Bud.
And I was wondering, how much is that meat plate that you did? How much would that cost in your restaurant?
You mean on the menu?
Yeah.
Okay, Karla, if I were to order the Mama's special pot roast, what would it come with, and what would it cost about?
Okay, the plate special comes with a good portion of your pot roast, white rice, and our green salad. This is a sample of our green salad that we have today. And you get your choice of dressings. The ranch Indonesian is another dressing that we have, and we also carry a vinaigrette. And the price for that plate special is $6.50.
Okay, thank you. And I was wondering, Dr. Fujii, somebody told me you lost a shirt. And so if you could please tell us about it.
Well,
thank you very much.
We just attended the NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters exposition in Las Vegas, and I just came back this afternoon, and some of my fans from Hilo was asking me how did I do, and I said I lost my shirt, and unfortunately I forgot the dollar bill. She folded the dollar bill, I guess it's the origami, and she folded the dollar bill into a shirt, and she handed me the shirt, the dollar bill shirt, and I should have brought it tonight and put it on the Elmo to show you. So a lot of my fans were over there. Another one of my fans from Maui saw me and said hello, and she knew Jennifer, who came on our cooking class last semester, the Vietnamese restaurant. So we have 3 callers, so well, that's what the story was, so I hope I can last it tonight. We had to get up at 4 o'clock this morning Las Vegas time, and I guess it's a long day today. We have 3 callers, so will the next caller let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Hello.
Hello? Yes, go ahead. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay.
Paula, Karla, the wine is it cherry wine? What cherry wine? What type of cherry wine you use on the cooking?
Okay, Karla, what type of sherry wine do you use?
Okay, the sherry wine that we use at the restaurant, I get in bulk quantities. And what you can use Gallo is the most popular that we've got in the supermarkets. And you can also use a port if they don't have the cooking sherry available. The port, though, will turn your pot roast a little darker because the port's red. It's a dark wine. But the port, the sherry, Gallo is good, and it's the sweet variety. If you couldn't find any sherry, you could use a very sweet wine, but you wouldn't have the same body.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling from Hilo. Maybe you might, Karla, you might get a hold of people at Volcano Wineries, and maybe you might be able to use some of their fine wine in your cooking. And we have two other callers, so will the next caller let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Yeah, I'm from Hawaiian Paradise Park.
Okay.
I don't have as much of a question as much as I do a comment. That
Okay.
Definitely best breakfast in Hilo Town.
Okay, well, that's the third one, so it looks like I'm going to have to go there and have breakfast pretty soon.
You must come and have
And what is your favorite dish over there for breakfast?
Actually, my favorite is the eggs and potatoes. The home fried potatoes are excellent. Best breakfast you can get in Hilo Town. Best coffee, best pastries.
Okay.
Good food.
Well, thank you for calling from Hawaii Paradise Park.
You're welcome.
And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, I'm calling from Wahiwa on Oahu.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you could put up the ranch dressing
Okay.
thingy.
The ingredient for the ranch dressing.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
since you're calling all the way from Wahiwa over there on the island of Oahu, I'm going to put it on for you. And I've got to thank Karla for getting this all prepared for me. And for our caller in Wahiwa, there it is, the ranch
You
dressing.
just put them in all. I remember watching it, and you just put it.
Okay,
like,
Karla, why don't you explain how
altogether,
you do it while we have the recipe or the ingredients here? You made it in two different portions, so kind of explain that over again.
Okay, what we do in your blender, you take your vegetables, your onions, celery, garlic, and you add your oil and vinegar into that in the blender, and you blend it until it's all smooth. No chunks in the veggies. And then you can just pour that into your dressing container. Then you want to add your buttermilk and your mayonnaise and blend that up, and then pour that into your dressing container. I think I forgot to tell you to add your salt and pepper into the vegetable mix.
Okay,
And then you just blend it.
Fast as I can.
Turn it on, blend it, and you've got homemade ranch dressing.
Okay, then I got all the veggies written down. And then 2 cups buttermilk, 1 cup mayonnaise. Let's see, 2 buttermilk.
2 buttermilk.
1 cup mayonnaise.
And when you make it at home, caller from Wahiwa, if it tastes real good, you call Karla at 935-0595 and tell her that it was excellent. Okay, we'll take the next caller while we leave. Okay, we'll just take the next caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please? Hello, you're on the air. Did our caller
Hello?
Yes, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maui.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say it was a very beautiful presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And
Well,
this apple and coconut looks very delicious.
well, we can't wait to taste it.
And another thing, I noticed she has only one earring. Karla.
What was that?
Karla?
Karla, go ahead.
Yeah, the tall one. She has one earring on.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh gosh! Oh rats! Those are my favorite.
Oh. Well, I hope you find it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Well, thank you for calling from Maui. We have some real observant callers. See what it does, Karla, when you come on TV. Everyone really notices you. And
funny.
Well, I hope I shaved this.
I didn't notice it. I'm so sorry.
Okay, we have another caller, I believe. So will the next caller let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
I'm calling from the Kona side. My
Okay.
name is Diane.
Okay.
And I was wondering what were the hours and days that Claire is open. She has a very good show and her food sounds delicious.
Okay, Karla, can you go over the times when you're open for the caller from Kona?
We're open 7 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, Monday through Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And
This
if you-
really sounds good.
And when you
Thank
come over, come on Saturday mornings or Wednesday morning and visit the farmer's market. Actually, you can go over to Happy Cat Cafe, try their fine pastries, and then park there, and then walk over to the farmer's market, and then do your shopping and come back, and you won't have to fight for the parking space. But make sure you stop by Happy Cat before you leave.
I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Kona, and I believe we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello?
Yes, where are you calling from?
Hilo?
Okay, and the question?
I'd like to know where the restaurant's located, and I also would like to know what other kinds of varieties she has on her menu.
Okay, Karla, why don't you tell us where you're actually located in Hilo?
Okay, we're located at 55 Mamo Street. It's right in the heart of the farmer's market. We've got lilikoi all around the front of our restaurant, and it's mainly painted blue.
And what are some of the different dishes that you have over there at Happy Cat?
We've got a full gambit. Start out with the breakfast menu. We've got eggs anyway, French toast, breakfast burritos. We can
granola.
make tofu burritos. We can make eggs, homemade granola. For lunch, we have many different kinds of sandwiches. We do vegetarian sandwiches as well as steak, corned beef. We do a hot falafel sandwich, tofu wraps, turkey wraps, salads. Our Cobb salad is our most popular. It's got bacon. You can get the vegetarian style, which comes with the soy bacon, gorgonzola, avocado, tomato. Of course, most of our products are local.
What about the baked products?
We always have our banana bread. Our banana bread is the best on the island, hands down. And we have cookies, chocolate chip, oatmeal. Sometimes we have a lemon cookie. We have brownies, which are very popular. It's a triple fudge brownie. You can get it with nuts or without. And we also have our Chinese pretzels, which a good friend of mine makes for me, and they're really delightful.
Okay, and I guess that answers the question from Hilo. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello, brother. I come from Maui.
Okay.
My name is Clarence Uzi Ferrer.
Okay.
I'd like to know about the pot roast.
And what do you want to know about the pot roast? That's Mama's special pot roast.
I know. Normally I make pot roast is vegan noise, Portuguese style.
And what was your exact question again?
How can I mix the Portuguese vegan noise with something from her?
Okay, did you get that, Karla?
It's the sausage that with the pot roast, just go ahead and throw it in with the pot roast and see what you got.
All right. Very good. I'm going to try them tomorrow, Sunday. Because I give my family from Maui, coming from Maui, and they love pot roast.
Yeah,
and whereabouts in Maui? And whereabouts from Maui are you calling from?
Maui? Papaya, Maui.
Okay, okay.
Papaya.
All right.
Okay, but I watch your program every time and winner.
Oh, thank you very
And
much.
thank you for all the who's cooking everything.
Oh, thank you for watching.
Yes.
And we appreciate you calling, especially when, we have some downtime. Good to hear from you folks out there in Maui. Anything else exciting happening in Maui? Oh, the caller hung up. So, okay, this is Focus on Agriculture. We're coming to you live from the television studios located in the Mookini Library here on the University of Hawaii at Hilo campus. And you're watching Agriculture 194T, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring the Happy Cat Restaurant. And with us this evening is Karla Garcia, the owner of Happy Cat, and Karla Tom, who's the manager of Happy Cat. And we have another caller, so could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, where are you calling from?
Am I on?
You sure are.
Okay. You only mentioned the name of the restaurant just once or twice, and I would like to know what the name of the restaurant is.
Okay, it's the Happy Cat Restaurant Cafe.
Is it a cat or cap?
Cat, C-A.
Okay.
Cats.
Like kitty cat?
Cats. Happy Cats Cafe.
Like a pussycat?
Like a pussycat.
Okay. Well, yes, I'm calling from Honolulu.
Okay.
And I really, truly enjoyed this program today. I think she's an excellent presenter. And is there any way we can get the full recipe of this whole program?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. And for the caller in Honolulu or on Oahu, these recipes will be in our Focus on Agriculture cookbook, which will be available this coming June. And actually, we're on every Thursday evening. We have 3 more sessions to go. We'll have in total 16 sessions, and each of the presenters prepared anywhere up to 6 dishes. And all the recipes that were prepared on our Focus on Agriculture class will be available in our Agriculture 194T cookbook, which will be available in June. And if you're interested, please write to us at 200 West Kauili Street, Hilo, Hawaii, or you can fax me, or you can email me if you're on the internet at jfujii.com. Or jfujii@hawaii.edu.
Now, can you just get tonight's recipe?
It'll be in the cookbook.
But do you have to take it by the whole cookbook?
Yes.
And what is the cost? Do you know what the cookbook is going to cost?
I'm not supposed to say, but for you, since you're calling from Honolulu, I'm going to say $13.
Okay, so we have to send that in with it.
Right.
Okay.
Give us, just make out a check to UH Hilo.
Okay.
And we'll save one for you.
I enjoy your program very much.
Well, thank you very much. It wouldn't be possible without the fine people like Karla here, the 2 Karlas. And thank you for calling from Honolulu.
The programs that you've been producing are very exciting.
Oh, thank you.
For especially coming from Hilo. I think Hilo is doing a great job.
Well, it's kind of a unique class because we come to you live and it's interactive, so those of you in the viewing audience, you can call us up and ask questions of our guest chefs and cooks, and we've been doing this for the last 10 years, but the cooking classes, we've had only about 5 or 6 different cooking classes, and next fall we'll have another cooking class since it's so popular. And if you want to sign up for the class, you can write to me at the same address on the Elmo here. And the registration fee, I believe, is somewhere around $59. And you can sign up for a university credit and say you've got 1 University of Hawaii at Hilo credit.
Very good.
So all you have to, and the only requirement is to write lecture notes and just send in the lecture notes. And if you send in all your lecture notes, you get an A. And this semester, if you miss 2 lecture sessions, you can make up the lecture sessions with 2 recipes. So those recipes will also be in the cookbook. And we've been getting quite a few recipes from our students who are signed up. I have about 160 school teachers around the state signed up for this class, and they watch a class in the comfort of their living room. And we hope to have another very terrific cookbook at the end of the semester.
Now, when you say you can send in 2 recipes, your own recipe or your...
Yes, we like kind of local proven recipes.
Very good.
So actually, our last semester's cookbook is a real good one, and you can write to us about that one also.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Honolulu.
Bye-bye.
And good night. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Hello?
Yes, where are you calling from?
Dr. Fujii.
Oh, my friend Haruso Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I've noticed the temperature throughout your cooking of 350 degrees. It seems to be a universal temperature. I would like to ask Karla Garcia, what is her philosophy or reasoning for using that so-called 350 degrees Fahrenheit temperature?
Okay, Karla, why do you use 350?
I use that as a standard because every oven usually has different temperature grade, and you need to work with your oven, cook a few things in it so you know if 350 is the temperature that you want to use. You might want to set your oven a little hotter, or you might want to turn it down. It's pretty much having to know the feel of the food when it's cooked, the browning ability of it. You have to know your product, what it's supposed to look like when it's done, so you can tell if you're cooking at the right temperature. The 350 is just pretty much, like you said, a standard gauge. You don't want to go too much over it or too much under it. Does that help?
Okay, thank you. And Dr. Fujii,
yes,
I have a favor to ask you and all the viewing audience. I bought a plant at one of the plant shows at Honolulu.
Okay.
And the plant name is Amorphophallus. It is one of those unique taro family, you know, but it doesn't look like a regular taro. And what they make out of that taro, it forms a bulb. And what they make out of that is Japanese called konyaku. And it goes dormant a certain time of the year. And mine went dormant. And then, so I kept the potato for in the washroom, and my wife thought it was rubbish, so she threw it away.
Oh.
And I don't know where to find that plant again.
Okay.
So if you know where I can get that potato, that I think they use the potato to start the plant.
Okay.
And if the viewing audience in Honolulu can tell me where. Somebody can tell me where I can get that plant.
Okay.
I appreciate it very much.
Okay.
Because I'll send you more information on that, the use of the plant in a letter, Dr. Fujii. And I think if the advertisement is correct, man, I think we got something going good in Hawaii for the whole United States, maybe for the world.
Okay.
So. The word is Amorphophallus now. It's a type of potato. Dr. Sakai would know what it's all about because he sent me the book on that.
Right.
On that, and he's the expert on taro. Now, so I appreciate very much if somebody can tell me where I can get that plant.
Okay, I'll make a note of that, and I might just mention over the viewing, over the TV, if anyone can help my friend Haruso Joe over there in Kaneohe on the island of Oahu. If anyone has the plant that you can make the konyaku from, please give us a call at 974-7726. The numbers are on the screen. Give us a call, and we'll help my good friend Haruso Joe out.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fujii.
Okay, I might also. Yes.
Next time, I hope you win plenty of money at Las Vegas, Nevada.
No, the place is lost wages, I'm afraid. You just have to have luck. That's one thing I don't have. We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, this is Natasha from Hilo.
Okay.
Hi, Ronnie. And I would just like to know, what's the best cut of meat you use for the mama's pot roast?
Okay, what's the best cut of meat that you use for the pot roast there, Karla?
I think a chuck roast is about the best cut to use. It's got a lot of fat in it, adds a lot of flavor to it, and it renders out through cooking. And knowing that you're a friend of my daughter's who doesn't like much fat, the fat does render out.
Okay.
Okay, and this restaurant is the best, so if you guys don't go, I don't know what you're missing.
Okay, well, thank you for calling.
You don't know what you're missing. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, why don't we put your friend on TV here? There, you can say hello to your friends. Okay? Thank you for calling from Hilo, and we have another 5 minutes to go. Do we have another caller? We have no callers, so, well, Karla, maybe you can say something about how you got started with your restaurant here in Hilo again.
Well,
did I put you on the spot? No.
I bought the restaurant. It used to be Broke the Mouth. The restaurant has been an idea of mine for many, many years. A lot longer than I remembered, because my son, when he came over to visit, said, "Mom, you finally got your restaurant," and I didn't even know he knew. So I've been planning this for many, many years. I've been planning it around this, I call it a California eclectic menu. I call it that because basically most of my knowledge comes from cooking in California. California has a certain type of cuisine that is fresh, and it's spicy, it's tasty, you're not afraid of any of your seasonings. And I wanted to share that with Hawaii.
Okay, and Karla, I think we have a question from the classroom. Go ahead, Jack.
Okay, I have to ask, why Happy Cats? Is there any particular significance to Happy Cats?
Besides, I absolutely adore cats. I've been called a cat quite a few times. And it just seemed that that was the right name to name it.
Karla, do you have one of those? Do you have one of those Japanese Happy Cat dolls in your restaurant?
I do. I do. I have a whole lot of cat bric-a-brac. All of the stuff that is in the restaurant has been given to me from different customers that come in and go, "Oh, cats, cats." And then I get these wonderful different statues, pictures, hangings, Christmas decorations, window hangings, coat hangers, all kinds of different. I even have a signed Keen painting, and Keen was the big-eyed, nice cats, and I have one of those too.
Karla, do you have one of those Happy Cats with the paw, the left-hand paw and the right-hand paw up?
We do have two.
Yeah.
We have been given two, and I understand that to get any of those lucky cats that you have to be given them. So there's one for prosperity, for health, for happiness, and we have the white one, which is happiness.
Yeah, happiness.
So
okay,
we can have more.
And we have 2 minutes left, so maybe what I'll do is just want to remind you, if I could have the Elmo again. Let me see if I can get to the Elmo here. I'd just like to remind the students that April 28th is the last day that you can make up any of your missed lecture session with a local proven recipe. And like I said before, you can miss up to 2 lectures and make them up with 2 recipes. So if you want to take that option, please make sure that you get your recipes into my office by April 28th. And you can fax it to me or mail it to me, or you can even email it. And I believe we have about a minute to go, so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Happy Cat Cafe for joining us, especially Karla Garcia and Karla Tom. And next Thursday evening, we're going to have our old standby Kuhio Grill will be coming on next Thursday. And we'll have Sam Araki and his cooks will join us, and they'll prepare several excellent dishes for us again next Thursday evening. So we're going to dig into the fine foods that Karla has prepared for us. And this is Jack Fujii saying thank you for watching and good evening.